Here with Sebastian Mack. So to start off, just kind of talk about your basketball journey. How did you get started in the game, and how did you get to where you are today?
Basketball has always been a favorite thing. It's always been the first sport I ever played. I've never played anything else. So I know basketball was put in me by, my mother and my father. Just something that I always loved and I always stuck with my entire life.
And what made you fall in love with basketball initially?
One thing I'd say made me fall in love with it was how competitive it was and how much fun I have playing basketball with my family and friends. And I also knew that it was part of my family, so able to keep my family history going was also be a good thing for me as well.
Did you play any other sports growing up, or was it always basketball?
No. Even when I tried other stuff, I couldn't do it. I always had to play basketball.
Gotcha. Talk about your background a little bit. Where are you from? Family, siblings, all that.
Yeah, I'm originally from Chicago, Illinois. I moved out to Vegas 5 or 6 years ago. I have an older brother. I lived at the house with my mother and my father. Yeah, so even with them, it was always me and my brother always have a competitive nature because my brother played basketball as well. He played for one of the top schools in Chicago.
Okay.
And so we used to always play head to head. I used to go to his practices and, just watch him play.
Gotcha. Did he play collegiately as well, or does he play collegiately?
Yeah, he played collegiately. He went D1 at Southern University at HBCU.
Okay.
Yeah, and so I got to see what that's like as a younger brother. To see my brother play basketball at the highest level on big stages is also pretty good as well.
Right. Mm-hmm. What are some things that you kind of took away from his game or stuff like that?
One thing I took away is that that it really won't matter how the size or how big you are, as long as you are able to fight and compete and willing to put the work in, that is going to show.
Mm-hmm. You feel like you're better than him than he was at this stage?
Oh yeah, most definitely.
You take him out in one-on-one games?
Oh yeah, I'm winning now. So he used to always beat up on me, but now I'm winning in those games now.
So you moved out here from Chicago to Las Vegas. Talk about that adjustment. What was that like?
It was a really big adjustment because coming from where I came from, it was very hard, rough, and then coming to the new setting out here, it was like the mentality that I always grew up with. I had to somewhat change it a little bit in order to, try to be able to maneuver around Vegas. But also, on the court, though, my mentality will never change. I'm always going to be the dog I was since I started playing basketball in Chicago. So, that'll never change with me.
Gotcha. I guess for people who haven't really seen you play all that much, just kind of describe your game. What are some of your strengths?
One of my strengths is I know I can score the ball all 3 levels. I can defend as well, on-ball defense. I understand that I'm willing to do whatever it takes to win a basketball game. If that even means having 0 points, but I have 10 assists and 5 rebounds, and we're able to win this game, and I'm willing to do it. So I'm basically whatever a coach asks is do it all. If a coach wants me to go out there and try to get 30, I will. If a coach wants me to be a playmaker, I'll do that as well.
What about some improvement areas you're working on right now?
One improvement area I would probably say is my off-ball defense. It'd probably be help. Make sure I have my head on the swivel. Make sure I'm more. Also, I have to be more talkative because as I get older and the level gets higher. So in order if I keep my communication point going with my team and becoming a bigger and better leader, that's how we also win games at older levels.
What are maybe some underrated aspects of your game?
I want to say one thing that's underrated is that I actually am a good post scorer.
Okay.
So even for my size, I know I'm kind of big, have longer arms than average guards. So I know that I could post up. I have very I have good post work for a point guard.
Gotcha. Kind of going back to your transition here to Vegas. I mean, I know you've kind of been always your own guy, right? Going against the grain.
Yep.
Talk about that a little bit because I know there's a lot of big programs that I'm sure would love to have you here locally, but just kind of talk about why you've kind of gone against the grain and kind of been your own guy out here.
That sometimes you have to do what's best for you, and I understand that with me sometimes if I just keep my head down and focus and have no outside noise, that's where I tend to be able to show my best work and become the best player I am.
So getting into your recruitment a little bit, just what's the latest with that in terms of offers, interest?
Offers have been going up lately. Schools have been hitting me high, major D1s and stuff like that. So I feel like my recruitment has been skyrocketing a little bit later as I keep going. And I know that it's a big thing coming up, what scouts are going to be at, like Kansas City, UIBL, and stuff like that. So I just know if I keep showing my progression going forward, I'll have even more offers.
Who are some of the schools that are kind of hitting you up the most?
I would probably say the University of Oklahoma, University of Nebraska, DePaul University. Those are the three major ones that have been hitting me up recently.
Any schools that you haven't heard from yet that you would love to hear from?
I would probably say University of Kentucky, and then North Carolina University. You know, because those are just always big schools to me that I always like to see watch and play.
For sure. You know, I know you still have some time to pick a school and stuff like that, but ideally, what are you looking for in a school of choice?
I'm looking for a school that's willing to win, and that has the right group of guys that's ready to fight with me, and you know, that's able to take constructive criticism and be able to fight throughout the game. Even if we're down 20, we can still come back, because I know those games are long in college. And also I want to be around the coaching staff who will at least allow their guards be able to control the flow of the game and basically like let their guards, like everything run through the guards and stuff like that.
I guess kind of on that note, how would you see your role at that next level?
I feel like my role at the next level wouldn't be a big difference for me. You know, like I'm very adjustable. I can do whatever is asked of me. So like I'm a great coach. I'm one of the from the first person to the coach's mouth. So I always want to make sure I hear them and make sure I get everything and then give to my players, because I know that sometimes players can't really understand it from the coaches, so it comes from people in their own circle. So that's why I always try to be like a coach's pet and talk to the coach a lot and have meetings with the coaches so then I can inform my players on what we want to do.
Gotcha. Are there any players either collegiately or pro that you feel like you are similar to, or like you compare yourself to?
I'm not sure, but I know that I do take a lot of stuff off of people's games. Like I try to be like a coach player like LeBron. You know, he's always in the mix and stuff like that. I try to be very vocal on the court, like Steph Curry, and moving without the ball, and yeah, just stuff like that. Like a Chris Paul, how he was able to control the entire game or an entire quarter.
Right. Kind of, you know, get to know you a little bit off the court, outside of basketball.
Yep.
What do you feel like you kind of spend your free time on? Like any unique hobbies, interests?
One thing I would say I like to do, I probably just like relax. I like to chill. You know, after basketball, I like to, you know, relax at the crib, just sit at home, watch a movie with my mother, and just be with my dogs and my pets and stuff like that, and hang out with probably like a few friends, but that's about it. I never really do too much.
Okay, any like books you into, movies, TV shows, anything like that?
Oh yeah, I like to read. I read books like about stuff that I like to enjoy. Like LeBron James has a book that I've read, and then also I've read a Martin Luther King Jr. book. And I just try to get into the mix of like those leaders that I would like to be as I get older in life.
And I kind of elaborating on that a little bit, like touch on that. What did you take away from kind of reading those books? You know,
that no matter what is going on, you have to stick to what you want to do. And like I know with Martin Luther King, people told him no and stuff like that, but he always kept sticking to what he had to do and make sure he was all right and able to lead the people to the right way.
Gotcha. What do you feel like, this is kind of a deeper question, but what do you feel like is some of like the best advice you've ever received?
My best advice that I received, I would probably say, is to always just keep working regardless of what you're going through. Because I know that everybody some people dwell on the bad moments, some people, you know, tend to fall back and when they get bad information and stuff like that. I was always taught that to keep fighting and always keep working and always try to stay positive through any situation that you go through.
And a few more questions, but if you had one hashtag to describe yourself, what would that hashtag be and why?
I would probably say the hashtag determination. The reason I would say that because I'm determined to do anything and I'm willing to do whatever it takes to make it at the highest level and become the best player I know I can be.
And then last question with this, but ideally 5 years from now, where do you see yourself?
I see myself, I hope to be in the NBA, you know, be able to play amongst at the highest level and be able to change my family and my own life as well.
I appreciate the time, man.
Yep, thank you.